Hello, everyone. Happy Monday.
Hello, happy Monday.
I feel like been forever since we've done a regularly scheduled show.
I
Uh, but
know.
but today's a very special episode because after we broadcast this one, we're going to record a secret episode that will drop at a later date. But I know we're both really excited about it. Here's a hint. It's an interview with a theme park journalist that I've been reading myself for a long time. And I'm really excited to get to talk to him, and
Me too.
even more excited for us to. I don't think we've officially announced it yet, so I'm gonna wait for Jeff and Matt to decide when that should drop. But consider this your teaser.
Yes, I love that. And I am excited to do more of these. I mean, the sky's kind of the limit because there's so many like celebrities that love Disney. You know what I mean? People love talking about it. So I feel like we have some exciting things ahead if we want to do more of these kind of little bonus interviews and hear from different people in the industry. I
Yeah.
love it. And that's one of the
So
best parts that we of our
yeah,
job that we get to do is talk to
it's always
people that love it.
always nice to be able to step outside of the like week to week news
Right,
grind and
exactly.
take a bigger picture and look at things from a step back. So really
I
excited about that. Also really excited to say hi to some of the folks that we have in the chat already.
Yes.
First up, Orange Blossom and Tails the Fox. Welcome. And so good to see Michael
Yay.
Bingham checking in. It's been a minute. Great to hear from you, Michael. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, we missed you, Michael. I'm glad
Yeah.
that you are back.
All right. So we'll give it just a couple more seconds while I queue up the video for our intro. And if no one else has anything else that they want to shout out, anyone, last chance? All right, let's
Yes.
go ahead and kick this thing off in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and MEI-Travel. I'm Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. Carly, how has your week been?
It has been fabulous. I spent I think I looked at the days, like half the month of May in Orlando reporting on a million different stories.
Right?
So now is the time I write about those stories. So I kind of spent all of last week digesting everything. We're going to be talking about it in this episode. I have to say, one of my favorite pieces that I did, which was from the month, I mean, it's June now, but so we're talking about May, but May just finished. I spent the day at Disney's Animal Kingdom Park with a bunch of the culinary team. And from literally 8 a.m. till 8 or 9 p.m., we ate our way around.
Wow.
Like quick service, Tiffin's. It was one of the best days of my life as someone that loves Disney parks, foods and eating and all the snacks. And I wrote a story about it for Parade. And that was like, I was really proud of that story because it was just, there's so much passion there, especially, I mean, every chef is passionate. It's, you know, these dishes are their works of art, but there's so much passion at Animal Kingdom, especially a lot of the chefs bring dishes from their native countries. Like I met the chef who did the arepas, which are testing at Animal Kingdom as a potential restaurant that will be in Tropical Americas. Spoiler, it's incredible. And he was Colombian born and it's like his family recipe. So it was so interesting to hear a little bit more about that. And that was really exciting. And of course, everything going on with new and reimagined experiences at Disney World. I've just kind of been digesting and getting my thoughts in order because it's kind of a lot to process.
It is. It's been,
to be honest.
I mean, between all the openings at Disney's theme parks, we just had the new updated ride at SeaWorld. Fast and the Furious is going to start soft opening any day now, probably out in Hollywood. It's just a fire hose of stuff. And as a theme park journalist, it's exciting, but it's also kind of exhausting to try to digest. And
absolutely. I think that's the thing is it's like, it's so exciting writing about it, experiencing it, but then to step back and think about things.
Right.
Like, I thought a lot about Walt Disney World, and going into this summer, I was like, what is happening? Because we're not really, besides Muppets, which obviously I am obsessed
Mhm.
with and is a banger. I was like, is there really a lot going on? There is, because I kind of realized just how important
Yeah.
for Disney fans it is to reinvest in these classic attractions. And
Yeah.
that is something that is just as important as like a shiny new Monsters Inc. land. Like, we need to keep up with these attractions. Buzz
Mhm.
Lightyear is a great example. I love that ride now. I
And
couldn't say that before.
yeah. And our
you know?
main attraction is going to be a perfect example of Disney
Yes.
reinvesting in a classic attraction in a way that I think some people might not be 100% happy about, but we will
Absolutely.
definitely be
Polarizing.
digging into that at the end of the show.
Yes.
Yeah, I did not visit any Disney parks this past week. But I had my niece visiting us these past couple weeks. Shout out to Serafina if you're
Ah,
listening.
fun.
And we had a great day at Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. Her first time visiting there since she was a little kid. So we got to do some grown-up roller coasters like the Hulk and Hagrid's, everything but Velocicoaster because it was raining. But had a
That's
great day
okay.
there. And even more exciting, last night, thanks to the Premier Orlando Ultimate Beauty Experience Convention, which is an enormous convention of beauty professionals, biggest of its kind in America, over 50,000 people at the Orange County Convention Center. They invited us to
Wow.
come and check it out, which was amazing, even though I have no clue about anything regarding to
I
beauty
know
or,
you weren't there for
hair.
that reason.
Was not there for that. Well, I mean, was there, to meet those folks and to see
Right.
the convention floor. Honestly, imagine IAPA except with barbers and nail techs instead of
So
amusement
cool.
rides.
Right.
But the real reason that I accepted that invitation was because this weekend was the first ever test of the Open Hub at
Wow.
Epic Universe. This is something we have debated and discussed since the original plans of Epic Universe were put out with that beautiful celestial park with tons of dining, lots of green space, but not a lot of attractions. And people very early on saying this would make a great kind of City Walk 2.0, where they could just open the gates after dark, let people wander around.
Let people make money that work there. That's my number one.
Absolutely. So we were the first guinea pigs ever for this idea. And this post of mine is going crazy. Tons of comments so far. And, not all of them are positive. A lot of people are saying, I love this idea. I want to be able to do this. A lot of people are saying, I spent a lot of money on tickets to go to the park and I don't want anyone else inside the park. Here's what I can say from my personal firsthand observation the first time they're doing this. And this is a huge convention, 50,000 people. I don't really know how many of those people made it across the park. Last night, we only saw a handful of other people wearing the badges.
Yes.
So I think we were a tiny percentage of who was in the park that evening. I checked wait times. I stood at the portals and watched people going in. I could not see that it was having any negative impact on customers.
Right.
They had their own designated lane off to the side at the front turnstiles. And once we were through the front, they have scanners set up now at each of the portals at Stardust Racers. They did not have them last night at Constellation Carousel. They were kind of just checking people visually and using the honor system, but they have portable mobile scanners that they can use in the future for that spot. But from watching how this operated, this is not like the facial recognition scanners that they have at the front turnstiles where you have to stand on a spot and smile for a second or two. People were just walking right in.
Wow.
And
That's
I
impressive.
watched at each portal, there's just a 30-second clip up on my Instagram page. But Attractions Magazine, I took some video. I took several minutes of video of watching people stream in. And I did not see a single person have to get stopped who deserved to go through and get stopped because of a poor face scan or everything. And at the end of watching, I went up and talked to the employees off camera. I didn't record any of their systems,
Of course.
but they confirmed that when I walked towards them, they could see that, you know, my face had a warning sign saying that I
Wow,
wasn't
that is
permitted
so
to go.
cool. I'm
And
glad you
that's
brought
even
up
though,
something. Yeah.
yeah, it's
With
even though
the
I'm already registered in the system. I've got Epic Universe tickets
Yes.
attached to my
Right.
account, so it knows me
Right.
and knew enough to know that I wasn't eligible that night.
That is wild.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. And I'm glad you brought up like the convention aspect. Everyone was freaking out. You have to look at conventions in general. I know a lot of info because my aunt has been in the Florida convention business for decades. When they arrive to work a convention, they're already exhausted because the prep that goes into prepping for a convention is a lot. She'll send me like her step count. They're walking 10 to 15 miles a day around that floor of the convention.
Been there.
That narrows the pool of people that at the end of their work day, are they going to want to continue walking around a theme park? Do they care about theme parks? Or do they just want to do a typical convention thing, go out to dinner, maybe get a nice buzz, party with their friends at the hotel? That's realistic. So I think that's a good point that a lot of convention people, I would say probably the majority of those attendees are not even going to take advantage of this in most cases, most convention cases.
Yeah. I think it will grow. I think they deliberately started small. There was just an advertisement, one page of the convention program, but they're not like doing push notifications in their event app to try to push people to this. I talked to a bunch of people who had no clue that it was even a thing. I had to ask a couple people in PR to get a quote about it. But it definitely seems like they are starting small. I'm sure this will build. But when they do corporate events in the studios or IOA or even City Walk, it always involves shutting things down and keeping paying customers out. Paying customers lose time in the parks all the time at the other parks because the way those parks are built, you can't have a mix of corporate and regular guests. This system seems brilliant because anyone who wanted to ride Mario Kart or Frankenstein didn't affect them whatsoever. And if anything, it was a benefit to regular paying guests because normally places like Pizza Moon and Oak and Star have been closing an hour before the park closes because they're just not busy. This weekend, all those places in Celestial Park are staying open until closing. So, and the people who are paying, regular park tickets get to take advantage of that as well. They've also got the entertainment going. The last set of the guitarists now doesn't start until like 7:15. So you can sit in the Plastered Owl and enjoy the live entertainment for an hour. So as far as I could tell, this was a really successful test. I can see people quibbling about the aesthetics of the stanchions that they put outside.
The only thing,
but I think that they did that thinking that maybe, something's going to go wrong and we're going to end up with a queue. I never once saw a queue at any of the portals. And I think that if they get this system working well, they won't even need that.
Amazing.
So fingers crossed in hope that after corporate guests, the next people to get to take advantage of this are annual pass holders. Letting say premier pass holders after 5 o'clock.
We volunteer. Yes.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yes.
Had a fantastic dinner at Atlantic last night.
Yes. So jealous.
Yeah. Very excited about all this. The dream would be to be able to get an annual pass, but this is the next best thing for now.
I'm fine with that. I want to drink at the Atlantic, spicy wontons from Blue Dragon, and call it a day. This is great. My one concern with like many was, does it cheapen the experience for the day guests? But like you said,
and
the way it works with technology, it sounds like not.
If the facial scanning system was like what they're using at the front gate where everyone would have to stop and pause, then I would not get behind it. But this is amazing. You can see in the footage that I've posted that folks are just walking through in a steady stream. I would say it is faster than the scanners that Disney uses for security at their front gate that you just walk through.
I have a question. Do you,
Yeah.
so I love getting pictures in front of the portals. It's such like an iconic thing about visiting. Are those stanchions and the little signs not up until late in the afternoon?
Yes, so this whole thing did not begin until 5 o'clock.
Perfect.
And I heard that they started setting that up a little before 5. But
Okay.
honestly,
Dude, everyone got their pictures. That's great.
Epic is a park that really gets slammed in the morning and starts clearing out around 4 or 5 o'clock. At the end, by the time we got to the park at 6, other than Minecart, which had a 60-minute wait, everything else in the park was 30 minutes or less.
Amazing.
So I think that if you are upset that this is going to greatly change your paid experience, I don't think so. I really don't think so.
I am happy. This looks amazing, and like you said, fingers crossed. APs, even if just premiere, we get to do this.
Yep. Someday soon, hopefully.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, without any further ado, since we do have an interview to get to, we are just going to have to sprint right into the news in the queue. All right, for our first story, we are sprinting over to the Magic Kingdom, where Jessie's Roundup has arrived as part of the Cool Kids Summer lineup, reactivating the Diamond Horseshoe Review with live entertainment, characters, interactive games, and most importantly, air conditioning.
Cool Kids Summer. We're putting the cool in it, and indoor.
Literally, we don't overheat your children.
Yes, it's hot already. It's so hot. So I love that this is an offering. It's brand new this year. Cool Kids Summer started last year. We had Goofy and Epcot. This looks amazing. I got to see a little preview with Woody coming out and dancing and the little line dancing. I am really excited to experience this for real.
Yeah, this is running now. It kicked off on May 26th. It goes all the way through September 8th. We talked about this first way back in January, but our website editor, Danny, got to check it out recently in the park, saw the full thing of the preview that you had previously seen, and has a great report up at attractionsmagazine.com. She got to check out about 40 minutes of it, and looks like there's basically 2 different performances, main performances that rotate. There is one that involves a dance number called the Horseshoe Stomp. There's an original song they created for this, and Danny got a chance to talk to the show director. We've got a report on that, about that media preview.
And I believe this is the one that Disney created a dance for, and you can learn it on Instagram. They posted a video.
Yeah, they want this to go viral.
Yeah, and it's so cute.
And then there's another set where musician Dusty Strings comes out and sings "Hey Howdy Hey," and also performs the Cowboy Needs a Horse song. And that goes all the way back to a 1956 Disney animated short.
I absolutely love this. Again, you're inside. It's so important to recharge, refresh. And this is just a great offering. And again, live performers. The more chances we have to have live performers in the parks, I'm so happy.
And it's something that you don't need to stand in a queue for. You don't need to buy a lightning lane. You don't need a virtual queue. It's just something that people can drop in and out of. Also, don't miss out on the interactive games. You might think at first there's something just for kids, but Danny really had a good time with them. There's a horseshoe toss, a spot the difference activity, some other fun games that should not be overlooked. Honestly, I really think that since the Magic Kingdom has got rid of the Rivers of America, which had things like the Tom Sawyer Island, the riverboat, things that were like low weight, kind of free-form things that you could just sort of chill and relax. They need this kind of thing to take up the slack.
Absolutely. And, I've talked to a lot of parents and they're like, what was your kid's favorite time from the parks? And a lot of times they'll say like the pool. So I feel like this will also be another version of like, oh, we got our kids Tron lightning lanes. We got our kids on, Slinky Dog Dash. They'll still say their favorite thing was this, the easiest thing to do, just go in. And this is why we need stuff like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And And so I think if you want to check this out, we've got a lot more information on our site. And as always, MEI-Travel, and they can help you get there.
Yes.
All right. Next up, we are taking a look at a new Jaws theme restaurant that has arrived inside Universal Studios Florida. Now, don't get too excited. This is not a new permanent restaurant. It is just an overlay of Richter's Burgers
What
for
a
the
good
summer.
overlay.
Yes, it has taken what is undoubtedly one of the most mediocre quick service restaurants,
Yeah.
and at least given people a reason to check it out. It's not an anniversary year for Jaws. We just had that, but it sure feels like it because we've got great original screen use props from Jaws inside that new Steven Spielberg walkthrough museum. I got to
Good.
check out. So well done. And we've got all sorts of Jaws photo ops, murals, and food items right now, kind of bringing Amity Island back to life in the San Francisco area of the park. And God knows the San Francisco area could use all the help it gets.
I will say it was, I got to explore it last week.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I was super impressed. There's so many details to look at. One of my favorite was inside the restaurant is a tiny merch display of Jaws merchandise from Universal Studios Hollywood, the international parks. I didn't eat anything because I was waiting for other people to but the merch display was just so cool. I was like, God, I want this. They have like an old studio tram tour from Hollywood program. It was so cool to see that.
Yeah, I wish we had a couple pictures of that, but there is those Jaws artifacts and other decorations kind of bringing which was already a pretty well decorated space because it's themed around earthquake and there's some neat props in there, but they managed to make the Jaws theme work in there as well. And you did not try the food, but Danny was brave enough to do it for us. I'm sorry, I believe Danny and Tim probably
Yes.
Tim probably helped out.
This is not a
he took the
one-man
pictures.
operation.
No, you need it takes a village to eat this. In fact, they call it we're going to need a bigger boat because this is a triple patty
Whoa.
cheeseburger with a lot of messy toppings. And it says it's not quite as messy as the Krusty Burger, but it looks pretty close. It comes served with fries, and the one sticking point, I think, for me, and not just for this burger, but for a lot of the new menu items, quick service at Universal, is the price. We have now reached a price of $26.99 plus tax for the default combo, which does include a single service freestyle drink, which has a value of about $5. We're still talking about a quick service burger that is priced basically like a sit down restaurant hamburger.
The one thing I will say is there's no way I would eat this alone. This is like a 2-3 man job even.
God, no.
But I mean, we're not always with people. Maybe you're not with someone that eats beef. So that's kind of where the caveat comes. It is expensive. Really expensive.
I think it's maybe within $1 or so of the Ticos burger that they serve at Burger Digs over in Iowa at Jurassic Park, which I actually had the other day. My recommendation is if you really want to try one of these, but you want to save a little money, they don't tell you this on the menu, but any of these things that are listed just as combos, you can request it as a non-combo. And instead of the big cup of soda, ask for a courtesy cup of water. Your body will thank you for the water after you've ingested all of that.
Yeah, that is a artery clogger, but you know what? You don't have to eat anything if you just want to explore the space. Again, you got to look through these pictures because there's a lot.
Definitely. You don't have to eat the burger to take a photo op. They've got the classic help shark billboard that you can insert yourself into. You know what? All this just makes me hope that this is testing the water for when Fast and the Furious goes away, transforming that whole area into a throwback area, and turning the hardware from the Fast and Furious Supercharged into a great Universal movie ride.
Oh, I would
You know, a
absolutely.
virtual tram tour through Lost Attractions.
That would be
That's my vote.
amazing. And I do have to make a note.
Yeah.
I am a huge fan of the original Duff beers over in
Yes.
Springfield. There is a new Duff that was
The
just
sour.
added.
Did you try the sour?
Yes. I am like a moderate sour fan. I wouldn't say
Mhm.
enthusiast. It's called the Happy Sour.
Yeah.
One of the best sours I have ever had. Not overwhelmingly sweet, right amount of tart, right amount of sweetness with like a
Mhm.
guava flavor. It was absolutely amazing, especially in the heat. So I wanted to
Yeah,
make note of that.
It's kind of
Try
like
it, please.
a tropical sweet and sour kind of
Yeah.
thing going
Yes,
on.
absolutely. But again, like I hate sweet things.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of sours. It was
Mhm.
so balanced.
Yeah.
It was perfect. So
Oh,
let's
I'm
drink it
glad.
so we get to keep it around a little bit longer than Dufftoberfest, which I also love.
Yes. Yeah, Dufftoberfest is always gone too soon. Next up, we are headed out to the Midwest, where Six Flags Great Adventure is celebrating its 50th anniversary. And we have some details now on their big park-wide anniversary bash and what else is going on to celebrate the park that originally opened as Marriott's Great America back in 1976.
Oh, I just love when we talk about these old parks, Paramount, Marriott's. It's just so crazy that the amount of hands of ownership that has gone through. It's very fascinating.
Yeah, it seems strange today. You stay at a Marriott hotel, you don't think of them building theme parks.
No, not at all.
Well, so they are Six Flags Great America, which is kind of located halfway between Chicago and Milwaukee. Will be officially celebrate. Oh, I'm sorry. It did officially celebrate its anniversary on May 29th, just 2 days ago. It had a park-wide anniversary bash with festivities that included the return of their original barbershop quartet that performed during the opening year. They reunited, which is really sweet to see. They also opened up their new Legacy Museum, which I think every park of that age deserves a Legacy Museum.
Right. And this is something that, Disney has been doing for a while now, finally Universal. And now with these regional parks, you have these fans that have been going for decades. This is what we love. Give us what we want. And we're seeing a lot more of it, which is great.
They also had a special fireworks show, and now from June 20th through August 9th, they're going to continue celebrating with special entertainment, food and beverage, and a new nighttime drone spectacular, along with the nighttime parade and with new floats that we talked about on a previous episode.
Yeah, so I guess now is the time for me to visit because I have never been here, but it has definitely been on my radar. I know a lot of like Midwest theme park creators that love this park, so definitely love to check this out.
So yes, and if you don't already have one of those gold passes, you can pick up a Six Flags Great America Gold Pass for the price of a silver pass right now. And it'll get you not only into Great America, but the other parks in that region, which include Cedar Point and Kings Island. So it's a great lineup of roller coasters to check out. All right. And moving on, another Six Flags park, Six Flags Fiesta Texas. They have announced a brand new werewolf-themed roller coaster, which they are calling a first of its kind and a world's longest. But I think we have to have a little conversation about how we define certain things.
Yes,
So
this is the sticky territory always with these announcements because there's always the world's longest, world's fastest. There's so many minute details that go into what makes this a family ride, what makes this the world's first.
And honestly, unless you are very clearly setting a record that is undisputed, I'd rather just
the
talk
highest
about
wooden roller coaster.
Just talk about the positive aspects without trying to make it a superlative, because I'd rather talk about all the cool things that I see in this coaster rather than debate how you define a family launch coaster, because they are calling this new Werewolf Gorge roller coaster debuting in 2027 as part of the park's 35th anniversary. They're calling this new Fiesta Texas ride the world's longest family launch coaster, and Hagrid's would like to enter the chat.
Yeah, so I'm more interested in the theming, which we will get to because
Yes.
it has a good story, and this is kind of,
Yeah.
I know these titles grab the headlines.
Yeah.
I'm going to be writing about this, and I know that the headline is going to say record-breaking coaster
Yeah.
because that's what gets people to click. I
All right,
understand.
so for a second, let's set aside the record debate. Let's just talk about the things we know that are pretty
Yes.
cool about this. It is definitely the longest coaster of its kind that Six Flags Fiesta has ever done,
Mhm.
because it is 4,120 feet long, and
Wow.
the park is built in a natural quarry.
Mhm.
So it's taking advantage of that to feature 4 launches, a spike with a mid-course rollback and a little backward section, 32 floater airtime moments. So that's kind of not necessarily ejector airtime where you feel yourself being thrust out of your street seat, but kind of those little 0G floater
Wow.
moments.
32.
A top speed of 45 miles an hour, and a height requirement of only 39 inches, which should make it accessible to a wide portion of the family.
Yes, that is good news.
And the other thing that's really cool, Six Flags is not super known for their detailed theming and backstories of their rides, especially the roller coasters. This is going to be an exception because they have created an entire world. They have a centuries-old werewolf curse, a guided tour on a rugged mine train. You're going to have immersive scenic elements, including near-miss moments with werewolf figures. I don't think I'd call them animatronics based on the previs, but figures. A cool themed a quarry structure for the finale with glowing eyes and shadowy movement. And they've got a whole story world now themed around cryptids and an eccentric entrepreneur named Jasper Bunyan, who is transforming this old quarry into a roadside attraction, because that always goes well.
This is the lore that I wanted. It is giving C at Disney, and I don't know how deep they're going to go into it. I mean, some of these regional parks famously create a backstory, but then it doesn't really show in the execution as much. So I hope it does, because there's a werewolf museum. I want to know more about that.
Yes, that kind of reminded me a little bit of Expedition Everest and the Yeti Museum.
Oh,
They are promising that, unlike most Six Flags queues that are just a bunch of switchbacks, this will actually have a themed queue taking you through this museum of cryptids and werewolves, and hopefully fill you in on the story and kind of immerse you in that world before you get on the ride.
Yes.
They've been teasing this for a while, all through 2025. They've been doing these full moon activations around the parks, but they finally kind of revealed this on May 30th.
Yes, I was in bed about to go to bed, and the press release came in, and I was like, oh boy.
It was a rare blue moon, which means the second full moon within the same month, and perfect time to send up some drones and reveal the attraction logo. All right, that's all the positive stuff that makes me really excited for this coaster. Now let's talk a little bit about the comparisons. We talk a little in this article about how some folks are drawing comparisons between this and Curse of the Werewolf at Epic Universe, and I gotta say, this looks like a better themed, more fun ride to wait in line for than Curse of the Werewolf, which is definitely the secondary attraction in Dark Universe.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I've done it a few times. It's just lackluster. Sorry, there's so many amazing rides there. It's not a priority.
15 minutes is the longest I will wait for that.
Yeah, it's so quick. Yeah.
But I would like to rewind back to their claim that this is the world's longest family launch coaster, and simply point out that according to the roller coaster database and Universal's own press release, Hagrid's is just short of a mile long. It is 5,053 feet long. It has a slightly higher top speed of 50 miles an hour. And the height is actually slightly shorter. I think they said that this new ride is going to reach a height of 85 feet at its peak, or the biggest differential at 85 feet. So yeah, I don't know how we want to define. Maybe we should just say it's Vekoma's longest family
That is
launch
very
coaster.
possible. Yes.
Because Hagrid was built by Intamin, and I guess maybe they have a different definition of what a family launch coaster is.
I'm wondering if that's what it is. Just it's the family in
Well,
there.
Six Flags, if you would like to invite me out there to ride it, I will tell you whether it is a family launch
Yes.
coaster or not.
Fair enough.
I'm not holding my breath for that. All right, and finally, last but not least, for years, Toy Story fans have dreamed of Pizza Planet coming to life. Well, a few Pizza Planet pop-ups tied to the release of Toy Story 5 are coming around the world this summer. But brace yourselves because they're coming to Papa John's.
Yes. I will say I love Papa John's spicy garlic dipping sauce. The pizza is not my favorite, but I like the spicy garlic sauce.
Yeah. So I'm going to just move right along without any commentary in case Papa John's is a sponsor and or litigant. But I will say that this global campaign includes temporary Papa John's locations in Los Angeles, London, Seoul, and Madrid. However, I do know that there are going to be games, themed decor, merchandise, and giveaways and movie references. But this is not something that I think the average fan is going to be able to participate in. I think this is mostly going to be one of those social media driven marketing events where you're going to have very limited reservations that will probably get claimed very quickly. The one in Los Angeles will open on June 12th at 8180 Melrose Avenue, and it's going to be using timed entry reservations. So check out Papa John's Instagram Reels for more details on how exactly that will work.
Yes, I do have to say, if you do get in, I love the names that they have given the pizzas for this. There's a lot of Toy Story classic line puns, like Reach for the Pie is one of them. Sheriff's Roundup is one of them. But you're right. It's sounding like it's a very digital forward thing because they're also launching the first in-app game. So for most of us, if we want to participate, it's going to be limited to the Webosphere.
Yes. The good news is, even if you don't have one of these physical locations near you or can't get into one, you will be able to try the pizzas themselves, because themed personal pizzas are now appearing on Papa John's website and app across the United States. Earlier, their press materials only talked about Canada and international markets, but we have confirmed that there will be domestic availability. So like you said, they've got themed personal pizzas, the Space Ranger pepperoni, a Sheriff's Roundup, and that Reach for the Pie. But there's also going to be the ability to customize a personal pizza and get it in a collectible Toy Story 5 packaging. Take that, Pizza Moon and Pizza Rizzo. And you might like this one. It's going to come with a Rootin' Tootin' Ranch dipping sauce. For those of you who like covering your dairy with even more dairy.
I hope you're not lactose intolerant, but
yeah, exactly. So as you also mentioned, this is also going to introduce Operation Pizza, which is the first app inside their Papa Rewards app. Launches June 1st exclusively for members. And this is just like one in a trend of a lot of fast food places. You know, I remember when I was a kid, there were always like Burger King or McDonald's souvenir glass tie-ins with movies. I think my mom probably still has some of my Empire Strikes Back glasses from back in the day.
Amazing.
Though I will say, back in the 90s, I collected all of the Disney, masterpiece collection Burger King glasses. They had a whole series, dozens of them.
Amazing.
Bought them all, saved them for decades in storage, and finally had my wife put them in her vintage shop. And Pocahontas ones went like that.
Oh, I'm
the
sure.
other princesses, no one seems to want them. Anyway, Toy Story 5 arrives in theaters on June 19th. And you can check out more information about this on Papa John's website. All right, that is going to bring us to the end of this week's News in the Queue. But before we jump into the main attraction, we are going to hear a word from our sponsor.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and MEI-Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI-Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at mei-travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction!
All right, this is a big one. We could probably talk for a whole hour about this, but we're not going to because we have a special interview to record coming up. So let's just dive right into it. Disney, after earlier teasing that the Walt Disney animatronic from California would be coming to Orlando's Carousel of Progress, is now telling us it's not just the intro with Walt. They are massively overhauling the entire attraction.
Yes, this is a complete overhaul. Matt and I were in the room with Imagineering before this was announced, and it was really crazy to hear in like a small group setting. Yes, complete overhaul, which I think a lot of people were surprised about.
Yeah. The Carousel of Progress, in case, I don't know, you've been living under a revolving theater for the past 60 years, is a timeless classic from the 1964 World's Fair. Proudly bills itself as the longest running stage show in the world, though with this overhaul, I don't know how they can claim that it's really the same show. It has had changes over the years, including the beloved song There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow being replaced for a few years with Now is the Time, Now is the Best Time of Your Life to Go Out Right Now and Buy GE Appliances.
Which you could still hear in Tomorrowland background.
Yes. Yes, exactly. But this new overhaul is going to be the biggest one ever. Your final day to see the current Carousel of Progress is July 5th. Then as of July 6th, it will go away. And sometime in 2027, we will have an entirely new Carousel of Progress. Will still be the same format. You'll still be sitting in a theater that will revolve around a series of stages. But now the years that those stages are set have been completely updated. And I got to say, I think that the theory behind the update, the years they chose, I understand the theory, but I don't know if I necessarily agree with it.
Yeah.
So
their intention was, so Carousel of Progress obviously is a legacy attraction directly tied to Walt Disney, but they said the audiences that are coming to Disney can't relate to the time periods because they're not familiar with them. Like I had never heard the term rat race until this attraction. Sarah has a point. I mean, I love this ride. It's one of my favorites. I'm also excited for the new version, spoiler, but that was their kind of intention is people don't know what these are. They can't relate at all. Whereas let's talk about the new stuff because it's more historical topics that many of us have at least lived through or know of.
Yeah. I think you are exactly right on that there were too many things that when at least this current version of the Carousel Progress was last updated in the early mid-90s, which is a lifetime away, literally, for a lot of visitors. A lot of the references and phrases were common phrases that someone, even a younger person who grew up in the 80s or 90s, would understand. But now that person is a grandparent, right? And their kids and their grandkids don't know what they're referencing, right? So the idea is kind of to shift it so the same kind of time gaps that someone going to see it at the 1964 World's Fair would have, we would have a similar time gap. So think about it this way. The current version, it starts around the turn of the 20th century.
Mhm.
and then goes to the 1920s, the 1940s, and then that has this huge jump to the future, which was really like more like 2000, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So it was a dated kind of future even in the 90s
That's a good
already.
point. Yeah.
Now, the idea is that we're saying, okay, if someone in the mid 60s, their relationship to the turn of the century, that's a 60-year gap. That's about the same as our relationship now to the mid 60s.
Right.
So, that kind of, I know we both love mid-century
Mhm.
modern vintage. That era is just as antique to you and I as like the horse and buggy early electrical era would be
Yeah.
to someone at the 1964 World's Fair. So I totally get that kind of change. So this first scene now, we're going to have an introduction, which will have that Walt Disney animatronic, and that is kind of based around how he looked when he was discussing the 64 World's Fair and those TV.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is based on that Disneyland special, but everyone is familiar with, all
Yep.
these little trinkets that are in there, like the Tower of the Four Winds. Love this.
I love
This
they've got
needs us that love Disney history. Very
yeah,
happy.
I love that they have that Tower of the Four Winds and the tiki bird
Yes.
and all those little references to that period of Disneyland history. But then that first scene takes place in 1969, just as the Apollo 11 moon landing is happening. So this will now be the first historical event that has two complete animatronic scenes, one at the Carousel of Progress and the second at the top of Spaceship Earth, because that's what the family is watching just before you go to the
And
180 top.
yes, that's good. I'm glad you mentioned family. So this is the same family. We are not changing
Yes.
the family. We have the whole cast of crew. We have Rover is still there. We have Uncle Orville still in the bathtub. So the family is still there.
But the important twist, though, is that while we have John and Sarah, John does not get to mansplain the entire history of Progress to us. Instead, Sarah finally gets to gets to be front and center for the first time during Act 2.
Yes.
And the original show was based on the seasons. It started out at the first scene is Valentine's Day. The second scene
4th of
is
July.
4th of July, then Halloween, and then Christmas, right?
Yep.
So now the first scene is summer. The second scene is Halloween night of 1985.
Yes.
And
I'm
we
glad
have
they took the Halloween. So we're going to see the sun with an homage to his like werewolf.
oh
look.
good.
Yeah.
Apparently we're kicking John outside so he can hand out candy.
But you know what? I just did this attraction last week. I kind of didn't realize how much of a jerk and condescending he is.
Really?
Like he's so condescending. So
I love Gene Shepard. He's
Yes.
the humorist who best known for Christmas Story. And obviously he's passed away, so he won't get to narrate this. I don't know if they'll try to find a sound alike or try to find the modern equivalent of him, who I'm not sure who that would be today.
right.
So I will miss that voice, but I won't necessarily miss his script.
No, yes. you will not miss
But we will have Uncle Orville doing the old no privacy gag and a whole bunch of retro 80s references, everything from Apple Computer, DuckTales, Depeche Mode, Disney pin trading, you name it.
Yeah, so,
it's going to be Easter eggs.
the Imagineers working on this that we got to talk to are definitely Disney nerds, like since they were children. So what I love is some of these props they're going to use from their own personal collections. The guy leading the project, he has a pin collection from the 80s, and he's going to put it inside the ride. And they've also been sourcing materials from eBay. I think for the 1980s scene specifically, which is Halloween 1985. I don't know if we're allowed to say this, but I think we are. They found the TV guide from that month on eBay and has the Golden Girls on the cover. So I'm
awesome.
really excited for all the little Easter eggs and just stuff that I don't know, that I'm more familiar with. We love the Golden Girls,
Absolutely.
So this is what we know.
Hey, the front of their house used to be right at Hollywood Studios or Disney MGM Studios, should I say? All right, so the third act is going to take us to 1999, and basically it almost seems like, because the final act now is kind of around turn of the 21st century, I guess. It's supposed to be the future, but it's even like their version of voice command is kind of dated. So like basically what was the last scene is now maybe sort of the third scene in terms of time period. And it almost seems like they're going to be making fun of the kitchen from the current version, because they're going to have gadgets like single-use bread makers, popcorn machines,
Yes.
all going overloading.
Yeah,
there's
we got
also
to
going to
see
be
a video of some of the testing of this.
okay.
Yeah, so it is the same elements that we have from this current version, where we see, the refrigerator, the dishwasher do stuff. They're doing that, but with appliances from this time period.
Okay. And currently the 1940s scene is where grandma is off to the side, and her husband falls asleep, and she puts wrestling on TV.
Yes.
And so we think that tradition might continue with a more modern wrestler that you might recognize from some Disney movies.
We may or may not have seen a wrestler involved, which I love.
There'll be plenty of retro TV callbacks and Disney Easter eggs in that. But then the finale, which is the only one they really released concept art for. And I will say that they kind of annoyed a lot of Disney fans by releasing concept art that looks more like a quick cartoon sketch than actual. I think we're also used to Universal concept art now, which always looks like a photorealistic rendering, and that's exactly what it ends up looking like. Disney concept art over the years, everyone from John Hench to Sam McKim to Dorothea Redmond, there's a huge variety of styles in Disney concept art. And sometimes it's more abstract, and sometimes it's more whimsical or more about the mood. So I wouldn't maybe take it too seriously if you don't think that art isn't detailed enough. Especially because I can definitely see the connection between this new final scene and the work that John Hench did on the original final scene. Look back at pictures of the very first 1964 World's Fair version, and I see the connection.
Yes, absolutely. I love that it's ending with this, which was directly inspired by that original concept art. So
it also really feels a lot to me like the finale of Horizons, when because the family in Horizons is supposed to be the same family from Carousel of Progress, just 100 years in the future. And that scene at the end where the grandparents are talking to everyone on the video phones. Go watch old videos. I see a lot of inspiration taking from that.
Yeah,
too.
and again, I think this is the people working on this are like, I'm not Disney dorks. I'm a Disney dork. You know what I mean? They're people that are invested emotionally into the product, and I think they know how delicate this is. Super, super delicate because it's one of the last, we just lost Tom Sawyer Island, which was a project that Walt Disney, obviously he didn't do the Disney World one, but the Disneyland one, he created that. So this is one of those other projects that he was directly involved in, and it's going to be totally different. But I don't know. I mean, theme parks aren't museums. Progress is in the title. This is one of my favorite rides, and I am excited. I know that not everyone is, but I don't know. I just it's dated. I mean, not in like a cute, fun way.
I am hoping that the archives, Becky Klein, if you're listening, get in there and save every last prop and piece that's not being used in the new show, and please save it somewhere so we can, maybe recreate at least in a static form someday.
Yes, as I'm sure they are. Yeah,
and I think what Disney fans who are really upset about this forget is that I don't think it was a choice between doing this update and keeping the old Carousel of Progress forever. I think it was a choice between this update and no more Carousel of Progress.
Yeah.
I think that was the other reasonable option. Because
I agree with you.
When was the last time you went Carousel of Progress and had it more than 10 or 20% full?
Right. And
Never.
You know what? People call it the nap spot. I don't want it to be the nap spot. I want it to be something that people think of as an attraction, not just a place to cool down because of the history involved in it. And unfortunately, certain rides, you can't change. Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, the shell of that, I feel like has to live on for a long time. That's not in that category. Even though it has that historical significance, it has to change.
Not that there's anything wrong with a good nap, but that's what Hall Presence is for.
That, yes.
I will say that my personal armchair Imagineering for this, while I get that they want to keep that 20-year span, I think that also means that 20 years from now it's going to look maybe more dated than it would have necessarily if they had. My dream was always that they had done this back in 23 to tie into the 100th anniversary of the Disney company, and that the first scene could take place in 1923 and show us what technology was like when Disney founded, his company.
Yes.
Second scene could be around the founding of Disneyland. The third scene could be like 80s, 90s sort of peak Walt Disney World. And then you could jump forward from there.
Yes.
I thought that would have been a better tie.
I agree with 2023. I think the issue was they were dead set on the Walt Disney animatronic. And it's like they have all these ideas, but like a technology isn't arriving to their idea yet, which is
let's just hope that the Walt animatronic is a little more consistent than the one that they have out in California.
Yes.
All right.
I'm hopeful of that.
We have a very important interview to do in just a couple minutes, so I'm going to have to end things there. But before we go, we want to give one last shout out to our sponsor, MEI-Travel. Also, be sure to purchase your copy of the Epic Universe magazine at our website. And I want to remind everyone to please give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you happen to listen to us, and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. I also want to give a shout out to some folks who jumped into the chat. We don't have time to bring on everyone. But I just want to say hi to Natalie Chow. Thanks for joining us. Also, thank you to Eric Tim O, our friend out west. And Michael Bingham, always good to have you back on the show. And finally, Brian Sager giving us all a heads up. Yes, there is some Taylor Swift Toy Story news. Finally, looks like it's going to be confirmed around 2 p.m. today. They've been teasing this for a while. So keep an eye out if you are a Swiftie for that collab. All right. And Magic City Mayhem says he just got the idea of doing a video like Zach Morris's Trash, but for John from Carousel of Progress.
Yes.
I got to give a shout out to Doug Bowser, who played John in the animatronic hands. I miss him very much. That was a great show, sponsored by Attractions Magazine.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna have to let it go there. Carly, where can folks catch up with you on the interwebs?
Yes, you could find me at Adventures by Carly and pre-order my book, The Unofficial Disney Parks Retro Cookbook, on Amazon.
Yes, and you can pre-order my 2027 guidebooks as well, and our books were number 1 and number 2 on Amazon last week. So go Attractions. All right. Finally, we hope you folks. Oh, you can find me at Eskabursky or at The Unofficial Guides, theunofficialguides.com. And until next week, we hope you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun. We will see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.